I am here with your Monday, February 22nd, 2021 tarot using the Linestrider Tarot. I have done a good pre-shuffle and now we ask for our message or messages for Monday. Now this Monday is a little bit of an interesting date for numerology. It is, okay, there's like 8 cards there. It is, when you look at the numbers, it is 222. Now 2 is always talked about balance. For me, when I see the triple number 222, it makes me think of my grandfather. And yes, he is no longer with us. However, he passed away more than a decade before I was born. And he communicates with me in some of the weirdest ways, but he makes his presence very well known. But 222, Monday, February 22nd. Great day to manifest if you manifest, if you cast spells. I had somebody say something very interesting about spell casting a little while ago. I'm not going to try and put a time frame on it because I honestly don't remember how long ago, but it was in the fairly recent past. And that the words that you speak and that you tell yourself, whether it's meant to be self-depreciating humor, it is still casting a spell of sorts. So if somebody gives you a compliment and you're like, oh yeah, I suck at that, but there's no thanks, there's no accepting the compliment, and people really have a hard time. There's a 2 for you. Justice, the scales are 2, and balance. Holy major arcanas. They're gonna get special mention. So yeah, the words that you speak and that you tell yourself in a way are casting a spell. So when you say, I'll never do this, or I'll be happy only if this happens, or things have to happen only in this way will I be happy from these external forces, you're putting a lot of limits on yourself, but your brain is listening, your vibration is listening, and you are forecasting what is going to happen. So when you say, my life will be perfect, or my life will be happy when this happens, that is destination forecasting. That is also kind of casting a spell saying that you are only going to be happy if this specific external force happens. So watch what you say to yourself. Your mind and your body is listening. So's the universe. And if you say you're never going to have this unless this specific thing happens, yes, the universe is listening, but it doesn't give you those things necessarily in the way you expect them to arrive. So when that external factor does arrive, but it's not in the form that you stated that you wanted it to show up, then you're let down, you're disappointed, and you cast a spell stating you will only ever be happy if this happens, or I'll be happy when this happens. Then you're putting limits on how you can be happy. My personal experience over the last crazy day and a half is also, I got really caught up in the, oh my God, long run, I have all of these things to do, instead of just breaking it down and saying, okay, this is what I have to deal with today and right now. And that also applies, I'm preachy today. I'm filming it on a Sunday, maybe that's why. yeah, you get really I got really ahead of myself, which made my anxiety go through the roof. And in reality, if you can stay focused on what is today, what can I do today, the small goals, the small victories, where can I find joy in right now, in today? Even if you've got a pipe leaking through your ceiling in the basement and drenching your carpet, there are things that you can look at to make yourself feel the joy and the happiness. For me, it was my former neighbor whom I stayed friends with. He came over with a moment's notice in the afternoon, early afternoon, and he helped me fix the problem. And he gave me a couple ideas as to how to fix the problem long term. So, with that said, we're going to move on to the reading. These major arcana cards that came out are going to get some real influence into this reading because they are the only major arcana. And for those of you who are card readers and maybe new or starting out, major arcanas always have that really strong influence on your reading. So if you get a little bit unsure as to where you're going with your reading, whether it's 1 card, 2 cards, 3 cards, more cards, Celtic Cross, look to what the major arcanas are. Those are going to influence the energy for the rest of your reading. So we do have a movement card. This is going to be a long video, guys. We have a movement card. We start off with the 6 of Swords. Going from an apparently rocky time or rough seas into calmer waters. It is literal movement, movement forward, progress. Could mean travel. Doesn't have to though. It's just a form of movement. Up next we have the 4 of Pentacles. 4s talk about stability. 6s are movement cards. 4s are stability. The 4 of Pentacles talks about either holding on too tightly or not tight enough. You're letting it slip through your fingers or you're grasping it with all of your might. Up next, we have more Pentacles. We have a little bit of all of the suits or all of the elements kind of showing up. Anyway, we have 8 of Pentacles. So that hard work that you've been putting in, particularly if it is a skill that is going to make you money or money related or work related, something tangible. You're starting to see progress. There's still a lot of work to do, but it's progress. Up next, we have fire energy with the 9 of Wands. 9 of Wands is that wounded warrior who is in the process of healing themselves from their wounds, regardless of how they were obtained and what form they kind of manifested in. But they pick themselves back up. They get back up again on their feet. Remember what I said about the 4s? We also have 4-4 in the reading. So just a little heads up on that one. If you're into numerology or angel numbers, just Google angel number 4-4, angel number 222, or why am I seeing those numbers? What do they mean spiritually? Anyway, back to the 4s. We've got another 4. The 4 of Wands. This is an amazing card. I don't think it gets the recognition it deserves. Talks about stability, happiness, particularly in your home life. So your home relationships are good, your family relationships are good, your home is stable. At least the foundation's not leaking. The pipes might be, but the foundation is solid. It's stable. Things are good. Now, before we get into the major arcanas here. There was one minor card, one minor arcana that came up, and it is a 2. Again, talking about balance. But this one is the 2 of Swords. We're all up in our head. Swords usually talks about things that are in our minds. It's air energy. We're all up in our head about a decision. We need to take the blindfold off to look at all of our options. And we're going to have to think about it, but the logical answer or the logical solution may not be the best solution that fits you. But you're feeling like you're trying to balance out which way to go with this. Now, major arcana card. Start off with the Justice card. Again, talks about balance, but it's balancing out of karma. It's balancing out of energy. It could mean, if you're dealing with the justice system, that there's some sort of movement or progress within it, or any type of legal situations. Could also mean dealing with somebody who is in the justice field. But it is about balance, particularly in karma. You may actually see some sort of karmic justice being served, which for me, spellcasting, that's probably the worst curse I could ever give you is, don't worry, karma's got this. I've had some pretty interesting experiences with that. After I have said that, I'll let karma do that job. I'm not worrying about curses or anything further. The universe is listening. Karma's coming into balance, and it's a little bit long overdue. Up next, major arcana, Death card. End of a cycle. This is actually a great card. It is the end of something that we have been in a cycle for or with for some time. And it's ending. Could be just the rebalancing of your karma. Could be karmic justice that helps you close the door on a chapter. And why is this such a great card? Because directly underneath, and this is how they appeared, justice, death, and then the Sun card. I'm sorry, I told you guys I wouldn't sing. Happiest card in the deck. It's completion, it's joy, it's happy, it is every good thing that you could think of. It's that warm, sunny day type feeling. And this is really going to influence the rest. I just saw 1313 on my timer here. I'm sorry for being so long. These major arcana cards are what's influencing how the rest of this reading is working out. So you may have been feeling quite off balanced, and that could be because you are tending to your wounds, you're healing, you are getting ready to leave something behind. You've been working very hard at this. You're wanting that stability, you're wanting that movement forward. And unfortunately, I know I am completely guilty of this, is we like to hang on to those things that we know, even if it is not healthy to do. It's time to let it go. We're moving forward. This cycle is ending. That chapter is closing. Things are coming into balance, even though you may not be feeling it at this exact moment. But it's good news. It's smooth sailing coming up. It's happiness. It's calmer water. Much better energy. Much happier energy. Higher vibes. And dealing with these wounds. Watching that self-talk. That is what brings you true happiness. Now this is almost 15 minutes, so I am going to leave this here right now. It's long enough, and I will talk to you tomorrow.